That's why when somebody believes that their home worth $1 million, I always say or talk to them with delicacy because I know that's very sensitive. I'm talking to their heart. That's
Right.
where little Johnny, has his first step, or Mary lost her tooth. You know what I mean? So yeah, you have to really pay attention to that. Hey guys, photography is very, very important in my life as a real estate broker because I need that when I want to put a property on the market. And I wanted to showcase somebody who actually is the only photographer who does my picture on all my listings. He's here, my friend Ray Alderete with Alderete Photography. And we have been working together for over 10 years. So he is the business of the day today. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. So talk to me about you. Well, I know a lot about you, but they don't know about you. So tell me about you. Who are you? How long have you been in business? What do you like about photography?
I've been in business for 20 years, over 20 years.
He looks young. He's married, lady. He's married, so he's married.
Happily married. But I graduated from the Art Institute with a degree in photography. Mm-hmm. Initially, I started working in a hospital.
Oh, wow.
My mother either wanted me to be a priest or a doctor.
Oh.
A priesthood wasn't going to happen. Although I would say, religiously based. Mm-hmm. But photography was an afterthought. It was a hobby at the time. And I started shooting landscapes and liked it a lot, but realized it wasn't going to pay the bills as well as other parts of photography. So as a hobby or as a interest, I took night classes at the Art Institute. And as soon as I took those classes, I realized this is something that I wanted to do.
That was made for you.
And switched over to the day program, eventually got a degree in photography. And as soon as I started working as a photo assistant, I started to get experience with all aspects of different kinds of photography.
Okay, what are the different kinds of photography out there?
I was interested in product photography when I graduated, so it was the specialty of a specialized degree in product photography. But we were also taught portrait, wedding, and took some history classes of photography. So it gave you a well-rounded idea of what types of photography were available. And I never realized when I first got into it that there were all types of photography. There's car photography. There are people who specifically photograph cars, boats,
Plane,
architectural, aerial. I mean, there are all types of photography, which I never knew existed. I just thought there were portraits and family.
and food.
That was it.
How you food the food and stuff.
Right. So when I took the classes, I had a natural ability when I took architecture that it just kind of synced for me. It was just something that I was able to do easily.
So how long have you been doing architecture / real estate?
Well, when I started working as a photo assistant, I started working with photographers here in town. And I had a certain knack for being, what do they call, having an instinct of what people wanted and needed. And that's how I became so successful as a photo assistant. In fact, I did get a job with a couple of product photographers since that's what I liked and specialized. But we were talking earlier that a lot of product photography now isn't done the same way as it was done years ago. In fact, when I graduated photography, it was film. And never in my wildest dreams did I ever thought I'd be working in front of a computer with digital images.
Oh, wow.
And when digital photography first came out, the cameras themselves were $35,000, which is, I thought to myself, there is no way I'll be able to afford a $35,000 camera. But I had an idea that this thing is probably going to take off. This internet stuff is going to take off. So I took Photoshop, which at the time was Photoshop 2. And the files were so small that you were able to do, but the capabilities of what you could do with a computer were amazing to me, that I thought, this is probably going to be something that people are going to be. Because at the time, you take a photo and you either had to go to Walgreens or Fox Photo and you could have it in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Whereas digital, it was like right away. And so I anticipated that was going to be something that I needed to learn, if not for myself, to be able to work with photographers that were doing digital photography.
That's nice.
And as it turns out, that is exactly
you were right
where it went. And but the experience of working with different photographers enabled me to work with people, which is what I liked. I enjoyed. And now my current career, I meet different people every single day.
And it's kind of good for you because you meet people, because you do have sellers and real estate people and builder developers and so on. But it also have the quiet time because the house doesn't talk. The structure doesn't talk. So you do have the best of both worlds.
Yeah, but I do enjoy speaking to people, especially when the owners are involved. Some owners like to be there. Of course, they're nervous. And who isn't when they sell a house? It's one of the biggest decisions of their life. So they're nervous about it. And I have to say, you can assure me this, everybody thinks their home is worth $1 million.
Yeah. Everybody believe that.
Everybody does. But it's not to say that it's not. It's just that you have to understand that they think it is. And if you feel and you treat the listing like it is, just like as important it is as it is to them, then you've got, I think, a client for life. Because, they know that you're going as much as you can and do everything possible to be able to sell their house.
Yeah, somebody's house is their treasure. So whatever the treasure, this is what their heart is. That's why when somebody believes that their home worth $1 million, I always say or talk to them with delicacy because I know that's very sensitive. I'm talking to their heart. That's where little Johnny, has his first step, or Mary lost her tooth. You know what I mean? So yeah, you have to really pay attention to that. So with that say, what do you like the most about what you're doing?
At this point, helping people take the next step in their life, essentially turning the chapter. So I'm part of that, in that with you and the agent, we're working together to make sure that they sell their house for as much as they can get and be able to move on into the next part of their life, which is, the new house.
Yeah,
next house.
New place, and new adventure. Yeah.
So it's a major decision for them, and as important as anything else that they're going to do in their lives. A house and a car are your biggest purchases, and it's not a decision that you make lightly. So us, and I consider me, even though I don't work for you directly, I consider me and you as a team in helping them achieve that goal and moving on with their life.
I know you guys are part of my team. I say I have a photographer in my team. I have a videographer in my team. I have everybody in my team. Yes. So as for if somebody wants to start photography and start a business, what advice would you give them? A photography business.
I would say there's a technical part of photography, and that is understanding what your camera can do, what kind of camera you are. I've had people ask me, what kind of camera would you recommend? What kind of camera do you use? And the truth is, it depends on what you're doing. Sports photography requires different equipment than architectural photography. Landscape photography requires different equipment. So it depends on what you're doing. I would first find out what your interest is, and then explore and investigate or research what it is that does the best for that job.
Okay.
You don't have to buy top of the line. I wouldn't. My first camera, my father bought me. I was expecting an Nikon because at the time it was one of the best brand names. But I got what was a Yashica. It was a Japanese camera, and it was the type where 2 images appeared in your viewfinder, and you had to put them together in order to get them in focus. Mm-hmm. It probably was $150. But the truth is, and I've said this in every aspect and almost in every part of people's lives, an expensive camera is not going to make you take better pictures until and unless you have an eye for photography. And you can teach somebody how to use a camera, but you can't teach somebody how to take a good picture. That's something that you have to know.
Yeah, you need to be skilled for it.
Talent and skill for. Mm-hmm. And luckily, I apparently have a skill for architecture.
This is great. Thank you so much, Ray. It was really good to have you here. So if people want to reach out to you for their picture, how could they contact you?
The best way is to contact me directly by phone, text, or a call. Nowadays, it's difficult to know which is what's spam and what's not spam. But text, I think, is the best way to go about reaching me. And
what's the number?
That number is 281-630-1457.
All right. Thank you so much for everybody watching. Make sure to contact Ray if you have any photography needs. He's here to help you. Thank you so much for watching. That was our business of the day. Make sure to follow us, subscribe on all our channel. À bientôt.